No, no, yeah, no, no, yeah, no,
What's up, Dance Fit Chicks? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and this was a very highly requested video. You guys wanted me to share a bit more about my weight loss story, sharing how I started and some tips on how I got to where I am today. So that's what we're gonna do. So go ahead, sit back, relax, grab you a little drink, and let's get into it. So growing up, I've always been a very curvy, thick, full-figured girl, as well as most of the women in my family. And even though I was really active growing up, I struggled with my weight a lot. I was one of those people who grew up trying all of the new exercise DVDs, as well as the latest diet trends. Atkins, CKLS diet, the lemonade diet, no carb diet, alkaline vegan diet. I mean, you name it, I pretty much have tried it. And as a result, growing up, I didn't feel very confident in my own skin and comfortable wearing certain clothes, and I spent a lot of time hiding myself. And when I got to college, I tried to stay as active as I could, but you know how that school life be. I ended up gaining about 35 plus pounds after years of pulling all-nighters, no sleep, excessive eating, and little to no movement. And while I wasn't what most people would consider overweight, I felt miserable and really unhappy in my body. And when I looked in the mirror, it was almost like I was looking at a stranger. I didn't feel like myself at all. And I think the biggest blow came for me towards the end of my senior year of college when I lost my mom to cancer. And it was such a shock for me because in my mind, growing up, she was always a very health-conscious, health-minded individual. And to lose her to a health-related illness, it was a huge wake-up call for me. It was like, this can no longer be about looking a certain way. I've got to take better care of my health, and I got to start right now. So I decided to get serious about my health and fitness goals, and I signed up for a gym. But I hated it. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I was very intimidated. I was bored out of my mind. And I ended up paying for a membership that I hardly ever used because I just didn't enjoy going. That was until I found my first dance fitness class, and that forever changed my life. I was like, wait a minute. I can have fun, dance, sweat, burn calories, and get fit all at the same time. Sign me up. I started taking Zumba classes 3 to 4 times a week for about an hour, and I lost pretty much all of the weight that I had gained when I was in college, about 35 pounds, and I got into the very best shape of my life. And because I was always so hype and high energy during classes, a few of the other students came up to me and they said, hey, you should become an instructor because we follow you more than we follow the person leading the class. So in 2011, I got my license to become a Zumba instructor, and I started teaching classes all around LA. I was like a little workout fitness bunny. But your girl was still struggling because even though I had become this super perky fit chick, my results were stalling, and it was completely unsustainable because my eating was all over the place. Your girl had a pretty bad addiction to junk foods and fast foods, and I felt like I was constantly working out so that I could work off a lot of these unhealthy food choices that I was making. So from there, I started to educate myself on nutrition because so much of our results are in what we eat. I also started strength training and adding weights to my workouts because I really wanted that tight and tone-defined look, you know? And I learned how to add weights to my dance workouts so I could make those types of workouts even more fun. Along the way, I started this YouTube channel, which if you want more details on why and how I started this YouTube channel, go ahead and check out this video right here. I started sharing my story a lot more online, and I realized that there were a lot of other women out there who were just like me, who had struggled with their weight for most of their life, who had tried all of the things, who were ready to give up and they just needed that motivation to keep going. And that's kind of how the whole Fit Body by Ashley brand was born. I wanted to show up in this online fitness space as a Black, dark-skinned, curvy girl who's really positive, has a lot of energy, who's uplifting, and who makes fitness fun, but also, more importantly, helps women to become their own body goals. And over the past few years, I've been blessed and thankful to be able to coach hundreds of women across the globe on how to get into the best shape of their lives, but also how to own who they are no matter what size they are. I'm now happy to say that I am the fittest, strongest, and healthiest that I've ever been, and I feel way more sexy, confident, and comfortable in my own skin than I ever have before in my life. And I've since created an online membership club for women who are tired of the quick fixes and who are ready to lose weight in a way that is fun, healthy, and sustainable long term. And not to toot my own horn, but this is a community that I wish that I had at the start of my own personal weight loss journey. As someone who never really vibed with the gym, I needed something fun. I needed that structure, that support, that accountability, that community, so that I wouldn't be constantly searching and overwhelmed with what to do next. So if you feel like that's you, and if you feel like what I just said really resonates with you, then I invite you to find out more information about my Dance Fit membership club. I will link all of the details as well as the link to join in the description below. So that is my journey in a nutshell, and now I want to get into some tips that really helped me get from where I was to where I am now. My first tip for you is stop focusing so much on weight loss and instead focus on better health. And I know that we're all working towards a specific goal, but this is not something that we're doing for a couple of weeks or a couple of months and then we're done. No, this is a lifestyle change. So you want to focus on making healthy habit changes that you can keep up with and stick to for the long haul. And when you think about it like that, there really is no such thing as failure or falling off track. In fact, the only way that you can ever lose is if you quit and give up altogether, which you ain't gonna do that, right? And my whole thing is, what difference does it make how much weight you've lost if you've done something to severely damage your health as a result? So health should always, always, always be at the center of your journey. The second tip that I have is to create goals that are within your control, meaning you want to create goals that are based on your actions versus a specific outcome. So what I mean by that is instead of saying, I'm going to lose 10 pounds this month, you want to say, I am going to eat a serving of vegetables at every single meal every day this week, or I'm going to work out 3 to 4 times a week for at least 30 minutes, because those are actions that you have full and complete control over. You don't always have control over how much the scale moves or how much weight you'll lose, but you do have control over the things that you eat and the specific actions that you take that you know are going to help you get to that overall end result that you want. The third tip that I have for you is to find food freedom. And I think this is a huge one because there are a lot of women out there who get tripped up when it comes to their nutrition. And they feel like there are certain foods that they can have and certain foods that they can't have. And if they eat any foods from that can't have list, that means that they're bad, they feel guilty, and then things just sort of spiral out from there. So I think it's really important for you to practice eating all types of food guilt-free. Because again, this is a lifestyle change. You are allowed to enjoy yourself without being fearful that you're going to gain all of your weight back. And what I like to do is focus more on the foods that I can add versus obsessing over the foods that I'm going to subtract. So where a lot of women get tripped up is they make this forbidden food list of foods that they can never eat or that they're trying to completely remove and eliminate from their diet. And as soon as they do that, they start to crave those foods even more. So instead of doing that, focus instead on what you can add to the equation. Can you add more vegetables? Can you add more whole, natural, one ingredient foods? Can you drink more water? Because when you focus more on what you're adding to your plate, you'll typically cut out a lot of those treat foods or those foods that you're trying to cut down on as a natural result. And it'll just feel a little bit easier and you won't feel so miserable. The next tip that I have is to stop trying to burn off all of your fat with your workouts. You heard me right. This is a big trap that I see a lot of women fall into. They keep thinking that they need to do more workouts and longer workouts and just exercise all day, every day in order to burn fat. But the fact of the matter is we're not burning nearly as much as we think we are with our workouts. I don't care what Mr. Fitbit says. So if you really want to work smarter, not harder in your weight loss journey, prioritize your nutrition for weight loss, and then prioritize your fitness for other things like helping you to relieve stress, building muscle, boosting your heart health, getting in shape so that you feel like you have more stamina and you're more physically active. But also you can use fitness as a form of self-care. Overall, workouts are important. I'm not saying that you should eliminate those completely, but they're definitely not the end all be all, and it's not something that you should obsess about constantly in terms of helping you to see results. And the last tip that I have for you is to join the right community. Keywords here, right community, because there's a lot of communities and there's a lot of information that's out there, but you want to make sure that you align yourself with a space that is going to make sense and be realistic for you. And this is especially for those women who feel really alone and who also feel overwhelmed by all of the information that's out there. You know, you might be seeing that this person says you should do this, and then you see that your friend is doing something else, and it feels like you're trying to piece together all of these different elements and you're just not sure what's going to work for you. And one of the biggest benefits of joining the right community is having a space where you can ask questions, where you can see other women who are just like you, who are crushing it, be able to get support and stay accountable to your goals, but also just so that you know that you are not alone. So again, if you feel like you've really been craving community and you just need a little bit of structure, you need some more support to help you to reach your goals, then I want to invite you to find out more information about my Dance Fit membership club. I'll make sure to link all of the details in the description below. Overall, I want you to know that even though weight loss can be very challenging, it is 100% possible for you to reach your goals. I've battled through losing both of my parents, an uncle, food addictions, fibroid tumors, surgeries, the list just goes on and on and on. But I've never given up on myself because at the end of the day, I know that my health is worth it and yours is too. So keep going, love. Have patience with yourself. Give yourself grace. Try to enjoy the journey as much as you possibly can and know that I am rooting for you on the sidelines every step of the way. Go ahead and comment below letting me know where you're currently at in your health and fitness journey. And you can also let me know which one of these tips you found to be most helpful. Also, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and stay tuned because the next video, which I'm gonna go film right now, is gonna be a really fun, feel-good routine that you can do when you've had a long, stressful day and you just need something quick to help you unwind. And I think you're really gonna love it. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.